spending this moment with us.
Of
So
course.
um, let's get started. Um, so how did you come up with the idea of celebrating the 40 years anniversary of Fistful of Metal and go on tour with it? How important is this celebration for you?
Sure. Well, thank you for the question, and nice to meet you guys. And yes, of course, a benchmark event, an anniversary certainly is something that is not too hard to figure out. 40 years of playing Fistful of Metal and all my music that I wrote during my time in of course, the band that I was in, and now, of course, playing songs that I wrote, people want to hear things that they're familiar with. It's just human nature, right? People want to do what's something they remember or something they're accustomed to. So for me, I could play all new music and all my current music, or I could play a combination, and that's what it seems that people want to hear. They want to hear, songs that they can relate to or that resonate with them. And for me, that's, songs that I did write, back in 1982 or 1983, as well as the songs I wrote today. So to me, playing these songs for people, if it makes them happy, if it lifts them up, that's what I want to do. B.B. King said, "From here to here." So that's what I think.
Yeah, of course.
If it brings, if it makes people feel good and helps them to, enjoy themselves and have a wild time thrashing about, let's make it happen. So, yes, a tour to celebrate 40 years of Fistful of Metal. I mean, let's just put it this way. Anthrax, they can do whatever they do. Whatever they do, no matter what they do, no matter who they do it with, it's never going to sound like the first album because I'm the one singing on it. So really and truly, that's a signature of that album. And that's what I'm bringing to Latin America, is the exact sound of that album. Because I can have guitar players play a certain way or have drummers play a certain way, but the singing, if you don't have the right singer, let's just put it this way. AC/DC, they were never the same band when Bon Scott passed away. They did very well for themselves. Of course, Brian Johnson, great singer, did a really great job and is doing a great job with AC/DC. However, that was the end of an era. That was an era that was, with Bon Scott. To me, that was very artistic, creative, and if you look back at what AC/DC did in those days, they were playing in front of bands like Black Sabbath, precisely that sound, and Anthrax never sounded the same as the first album. They just didn't. It's not to knock them. It's just they sound like a different band. They are a different band. But I'm not. I'm still the guy that sang those songs. So I can, So I think for them it's a missed opportunity that they neglected their 40th anniversary. But that's okay. I don't mind because that opens the door for me to perform these songs for audiences around the globe. And obviously Latin America is a great place because I love Latin America because I love the people. Familia, Primero, Primero. So, maybe I didn't say that right in the right order, but I'm still trying to get my Espanol correct. But I would say that family is first, right? And the celebration of family and the importance of family is always a key part of the minds of people in Latin America, and I've been there. So to me, I appreciate that because it is about family. It is about family first. It is about the people you care about and the people that care about you. And and I think that in Latin America, there's a great passion for all kinds of music, but especially heavy metal music and hard rock music. So for me, I really resonate with people in Latin America. So I like to be there. I like to, it's kind of I think that the word, well, not the word, but the saying, the phrase, universal language, right? Music is the universal language, because when you go to a country or a place where people don't even speak the same language, but they understand each other, but they make a connection. I mean, how huge is that? I mean, that's amazing. And, you know, you can feel it. You know, it doesn't have to be explained to you. You know, when you're there and you feel that energy and that connection. And, you know, that's not something I understood, you know, when I first started playing music. I just liked the music. You know, I loved the music. I was into the music. And when I was playing the first days of writing this music and playing it, you know, it was about the feeling of it and the energy. But once you understood, you know, that it was a gateway to connect with the fans, you know, and to make it one, you know, to me, that's really what it's all about. And, you know, that's something that I believe I bring to the stage. And I believe I bring that, of course, to wherever I go to connect with the fans. And, you know, I think there's a great passion for this music in, you know, the countries that I'm going to be visiting. And I can tell you that the experience last year when I went to Brazil was pretty phenomenal. So, you know, that was pretty amazing. And we're looking forward to that again, you know, in some other Latin countries. I'm hoping to get back to Brazil. You know, that's completely up to the promoters. You know, we have to have a promoter that will get behind it and bring the band, you know, bring myself. So that's what I'm bringing, you know. So I'm not messing around. I'm coming there to you know, we're going to go, and we're there to push it all the way, you know. And that's every time. That's
exciting.
Yeah, every time that I hit a stage, it's going to be like that. I'm not trying to show off, you know. I'm not part of the attention generation, you know. I don't care about that. I just want to give the fans, you know, 1,000%, nothing less. I don't want to disappoint any fans, and you know, it's hard not to disappoint somebody, right? Somebody wants something. But, you know, I'm not going to go up there and play the songs like exactly on the record, you know, or the album. It's ridiculous to do that. Just listen to the record if that's what you want to hear. But what we're going to do is play it so it's a great show, and so it flows really well. And we're going to play all of the Fistful of Metal songs, all of my Armed and Dangerous songs, all of my Spreading the Disease songs, and also some new songs that are part of, you know, my repertoire that I play. And also I'm recording an album. It's called Fistful of Metal Alive, which has all the songs that I mentioned, which also includes some new songs as well. So
that's cool. That
way, you know, because people are going to say, well, oh, he only wants to play Anthrax songs. Why didn't he play any new songs? Well, guess what? I wrote those Anthrax songs. I was, you know, 50%. You know, I wrote the words and the lyrics and the melodies for that, so that's 50% of those songs, according to the U.S. trademark, you know, the Copyright Library of Congress in the United States. I mean, that's what a song consists of. You have words, you have music, right? It's 50-50. So that's the portion.
No, about what you said. Are you going to bring your own musicians, or are you going to? They are going to be local.
Well, you
You
know, it's
already have
based
your
on.
musicians, right?
It's a simple equation, Alejandra. It's based on everybody on an airplane. That would be great, you know. They're only in Brazil, but it's not possible if the budget is not going to accommodate that. So I guess I'm lucky to just get me to fly in, right? So at least I'm there. But we have, you know, the best musicians in the area and the best people. And I'm going to be working with locals for this tour, because that's just the way it's situated. And because of the budget, because of the arrangements, you know. I mean, the options are I could either sit at home and think about, you know, doing it, you know, the best, doing a magnificent tour, playing big places with sold out shows and lots of people, or I could do the mercenary tour and go and make it happen and work it out with the promoters there and try to, you know, work together. So my feeling is that I don't want to sit at home and we could be celebrating 40 years of Fistful of Metal and playing, you know, these songs for the fans in Argentina, in Chile, Bolivia, Uruguay, Brazil, Peru, you know, all the countries, Ecuador, any country that's in Latin America, especially play again.
Mhm.
And I also play more than one thing. You know, I do more, I present more than one show.
And you talk about your influences, all the music that influenced you, and going back to Fistful of Metal. What do you think that that album means for metal and for thrash metal, right? For the history of metal, right? How
Well, you
did
know,
it influence metal?
well, you know, for me to answer that question, I think it's too self-gratuitous to kind of pat myself on the back and say, yeah, I influenced this or that, or this is what I
But
did, or
it's
this is
true.
how it worked. You know,
You can
that's
say
something
it. It's true.
that you can answer it better than me. You can answer that question as a person who hears it more subjectively. I mean, is it is it for me to tell you how I think that it influenced music? I mean, I could tell you this from a subjective standpoint, being completely reasonable about it, not slanted or biased. I mean, there's still music royalties from the album. There's more sales and music royalties from Fistful of Metal than there is from Armed and Dangerous. I can tell you that, at least that I see. So, I mean, I would say that Fistful of Metal has outsold Armed and Dangerous EP for years. I mean,
Yeah.
a year. So, I think that there's an appetite of fans for that. I think, you know, what's happened over the years is Anthrax themselves and their promotion has tried to hide Fistful of Metal or try to, you know, kind of subvert Fistful of Metal. But now it's not to their advantage because they've ignored that album. They don't play all the songs from it. They play maybe one or two songs. Maybe they've played three songs in the past. 4 or 5, you know, 3, 4 or 5 songs maximum.